Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So a few weeks back I started studying game development on my own. So before I started learning, I decided to master C# because basically you use C# in Unity. At the time of starting this project, I had 1 week of C# experience in total. So things may not be the best, but yeah, as the title suggests, I made a really hard game of classical snake game that you used to play in Nokia mobiles. The source code for the project is in my GitHub page, which is linked down below. Also, for some reason, if you want to play the end product, the download link is also given down below. The video is separated into chapters, so you can feel free to skip to any chapters and watch them as you please. So without any further ado, let's get to the video. So as any good program starts, I had to create it. After that, we're off to the races. So before I wrote the code, I thought I would create the basic sprites, like the background and all. So I just hopped over to Photoshop and quickly created the background on which the snake would stay in. So I added the small details like grass, flowers, because that's basically a grassy garden, right? So after I was done with that, I decided to play Overwatch because for some reason I can never concentrate on whatever I'm doing. Like, yeah, I did that the whole day. I was so confused that I actually had to check the footage in Premiere to check if I had done anything else the whole day. Result? No. Alright, so getting back on track on day 2. So now that we had the background ready, I decided to make the snake. For reference, I googled a snake because I don't know what a snake is. I found this guy called, alright, God bless, Lygodon flamboyant cactus. Alright, nailed it. So basically decided to draw its head and body separately because it would be a lot easier to work down the line. So I basically made its head, which looks good, and its body. It was also easy to make. Then I made the food for it, which was a mouse. There used to be apples, but snakes don't eat fruit. Nokia, lying pricks. Alright. Actually, the mouse turned out really good, and I'm very proud of it. Okay. After that, I had to write a bunch of code. So here's the montage. Alright, so yeah, after all that, we just have the background now. And the window, which it stays on, is ready to go. So, round 2, let's go. Alright, after that, we now have the mouse spawning into the background, or into the game. So, round 3, let's go. Alright, okay, sorry, I'm not gonna bother with that one. Alright, now we have the snake spawning, and only for the testing purposes, its length increases as I click my mouse left button, so that I can check if its length actually increases or not. So, either way. After we're done with that, I had to make it move. Oh boy, I actually underestimated how hard it would be. So, yeah, here's take 1. Yeah, no good. Alright, let's do another. That's even worse. 3rd time's the charm, isn't it? Okay, so I kinda underestimated it a bit too much. It was much harder than I thought. It was made harder due to my habit of not looking up tutorials and challenging myself. I tend to do that a lot, even in school projects. But at last I got it, so... Alright, now that the snake moves, we have another problem. Head rotations are not working as expected. So yeah, it was fairly easy thing to fix. So now I've fixed it, but we have another problem. It lags a bit when working, but at this point I thought I would fix it later on, which I do later down the line. So, and started working on the mouse. I already done the mouse. I mean the mouse eating mechanism where the snake would eat the mouse, right? So I created it, which at first was a
fair bit broken, as every single time I ate mouse, the snake's length would tend to double for some reason. I do not know, but yeah, it was an easy fix, so I fixed it. Now it works just fine, as you can see, and also fixed the lag issue here. So yeah, it works all good. Now we have all the base mechanisms done. Next, I needed to add some sort of game over thing, so which is fairly simple to make. All I had to do was create a collision and throw out a message box while the snake collided with its own body. So yeah, it was fairly easy to make. I displayed the score on it as well, and gave the user an option to retry or quit if they want. So now that the base game mode was done, I realized I needed walls around the screen to prevent the user from exiting the display area. So I quickly hopped over to Photoshop and sketched up a sprite for walls. Alright, so now with that done, this is where we stand. I added the walls in on either side and added the death trigger to the walls as well. So as soon as I hit the walls, the snake would die. So I also added a simple score display to keep track of the user's score. And now the base game is done. Now what we have to do next is to add the difficulties. Alright, so in order to add difficulty to the game, what I had planned was to add mines to the game, which would increase in number as the score of the user progressed. Alright, so, and I also had an idea for moving blades on either side, which is make it a fair bit harder as well. Also, I had made the mouse move every 3 seconds. So if the user could not get to the mouse in 3 seconds, it would move to a different location. So I quickly hopped over to Photoshop and made a texture for the mines. It was as simple as it gets. It's just skull and bones, you know, danger. And once I was done with it, I added it to the game. And now it spawns with a reference to the user's score, starting at the score of 3. If your head touches the snake's head, not your head. If your snake's head touches any of the mines, you die. You don't die, the snake dies. Alright. So, the next thing I did was to draw the blade soaked in blood for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking. So I quickly hopped over to Photoshop and made the texture for the blade. I also made the texture for the blade launchers, but I did that fairly late at night because it was giving me a lot of problems with the blade. I think I did it around like 1 AM in the morning, so I forgot to record it, so please don't mind that. Anyway, after I did it, I implemented everything into the game and it was finally done after 3 days of little work and a lot of Overwatch. So I also changed the scoreboard and added a texture to it, like a scoreboard texture, basically a paper on wood. And now everything's done. So here's the mechanism. After the score of 3, mines start to spawn, and after 5, the blade launcher for the up blade joins in. And others also spawn with a 5 score difference. So when you reach the score of 20, best of luck, all the blade launchers would be ready, would have spawned already. So with that, I was done. I also added the main menu with the start and exit button. So, you know, every good game needs a main menu. Okay, English. Alright. So yeah, now that was done, I decided to try it. Yeah, I couldn't get past the score of 13. That's my high score. Yeah, so here you go. Here's my playthrough. Alright, so after that, if you have played the old Nokia games, you might be wondering why I did not add like the snake auto moving feature. Boy howdy, let me tell you, I couldn't get above the score of 3 with that one. Because the snake would move. It's fairly easy to make. It was an asynchronous method. If you know C#, it was an asynchronous method which would increase with time. It would increase the length of not the length, the possession of the snake. So once the button was pressed, it would automatically go and increase the length. Go forward, not increase the length. So I had to scrap it because it made the game a lot more harder. Once the mines start spawning, you would automatically go and hit the mines because it's an asynchronous method, and you know, programmers will understand the problem. So yeah, there's your reason. Alright, so after I was done, I wanted to have someone else other than me try it. So I sent it over to my friend and had him try to beat my score. He got to a score of 12, but I lost the footage. I do not know if I recorded it or not, but I don't have the footage for it anymore. All I have is a footage of him trying it for the first time and reaching a score of 3 and dying to the first mine that spawned. And score बढ्दै गएपछि थाहा पाउँछौ के छ ल मेरो हाई स्कोर 13 हो WASD
अनि पहिला त सुरुमा त उ होला नि के रे स्पेस बार हैन
हैन WASD स्टार्ट गर्दाखेरि
हो ल ल ए आफुले हिँड्ने सही
मैले अटोमेटिक पनि बनाएको थिएँ हैन भिडियो अटोमेटिकमा त मैले त 2 पनि कटाउन सकेँ
ए अटोमेटिकमा
ओए माइन नछौ है Again, everyone, thank you for watching. If you liked it, please do consider leaving a like, as it helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to see more of these types of content, more of them are in the works, probably out within the next few weeks. So if you want to see them, please do consider subscribing. If you have any thoughts of the video, please do leave them down in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Have a great day, and goodbye.